In a world that constantly demands our attention, it feels like everyone is always talking, but no one is really listening. The world is flooded with opinions, debates, and endless chatter. At times, it seems like the loudest voices are the ones that get heard, while the quieter, more thoughtful voices get drowned out. But what if I told you that silence, the act of saying nothing, could actually be the most powerful tool you have at your disposal? And what if, in the right moments, silence could be your greatest weapon, even when you're under attack? Think about it. How often do we find ourselves caught in situations where we feel the urge to react, to defend ourselves, or to prove our point? The urge is natural. Someone challenges us, questions our integrity, or tries to manipulate us, and the first instinct is often to speak up. But here's the truth. Reacting in those moments is exactly what they want. They want to provoke you, get you to defend yourself, get you caught in the drama. The real power comes when you don't engage in their game. The real strength lies in remaining silent and letting your actions, not your words, speak for themselves. This isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about taking control of your emotional responses and using silence to assert strength, not weakness. Stoicism teaches us the art of staying calm, unshaken, and unmovable in the face of manipulation and chaos. It's not about being passive. It's about making a deliberate choice to remain in control and letting silence disarm those who try to pull you into their drama. In a world that rewards the loudest voices, silence might seem like a passive retreat, but it's the exact opposite. Silence is a strategic choice. It's a way to stay unbothered by the noise around you and focus on what really matters. Imagine this. When everyone else is scrambling to shout over one another, you choose to stay quiet. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You don't need to engage in every argument to prove your worth. Instead, you simply remain calm and composed, and by doing so, you command more respect than the loudest person in the room. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't waste time engaging in drama, arguments, or emotional games. Instead, they chose to live with integrity, staying focused on what was in their control, their thoughts, their actions, and their peace of mind. Silence, for them, was not a retreat. It was a declaration of strength. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." By choosing silence, we reclaim control over ourselves and protect our inner peace from being stolen by others. But let's be honest. The power of silence isn't always easy to embrace. It's difficult to stay calm when someone pushes your buttons, when someone insults you, or when someone tries to manipulate you. It feels like you're giving up your power when you choose not to react. But in reality, you are doing the opposite. You are taking back your power. Silence doesn't mean you're weak or passive. It means you refuse to be controlled by the actions of others. When you remain calm in the face of chaos, you become unpredictable, and that's where your true power lies. In this article, we're going to explore 9 crucial situations where choosing silence isn't just the smart choice, it's the ultimate strategy. These are moments where, instead of engaging in a battle of words or letting your emotions dictate your response, you choose stoic silence. It's a tool that allows you to stay in control, maintain your peace, and respond with wisdom, not emotion. But remember, silence isn't passive. It's strategic. It's about choosing when to speak and when to stay quiet. It's about using your silence to your advantage. When you choose silence in these moments, you don't lose control. You gain it. And that is what sets you apart from everyone else who's getting lost in the noise. As we move into the next sections, we'll dive deep into each of these 9 situations. We'll explore why silence is the most powerful tool you can wield in these moments, and how applying Stoic principles can help you navigate the complexities of life without losing your peace or control. So ask yourself, are you ready to embrace silence as your weapon? Are you prepared to stay unshaken in the face of provocation? Because once you master the art of silence, no one can manipulate you. No one can pull you into their drama. You'll be the one in control. We've all been there. You're in a conversation or a meeting and suddenly someone unfairly criticizes you. It could be a colleague, a friend, or even a family member. The sting of unjust criticism hits, and your first reaction is often to defend yourself, to argue back, to set the record straight. After all, you're not wrong, right? But here's the truth. Your first instinct to react, to defend, to engage emotionally is exactly what the person criticizing you wants. It's what they expect. They're not interested in hearing your side of the story. They want to provoke a reaction from you. And when you react, they gain the upper hand. They've managed to draw you into their narrative. So what's the alternative? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you chose to pause, reflect, and respond in a way that shows your true strength? This is where Stoic wisdom becomes your most powerful tool. When faced with unfair criticism, it's easy to feel defensive, to feel the pressure to explain yourself, to get caught up in the heat of the moment. But Stoicism teaches us something crucial. It's not what happens to you that disturbs you, it's how you respond. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminds us that we cannot control external events. Criticism, especially when it's unjust or baseless, is one of those external events that we have no power over. But we do control how we respond. The real strength doesn't lie in defending your position. It lies in how you choose to react, or more importantly, how you choose to remain silent in the face of unnecessary conflict. Instead of arguing, defending, or even getting angry, pause. Take a step back and ask yourself, what is this criticism really about? Is it worth my time and energy to engage in this conversation? Will responding help or hurt me in the long run? When you resist the urge to engage in the drama, you're showing that you don't need validation from others. Your worth isn't defined by their opinions or the false narrative they're trying to create. Your actions will always speak louder than any words they can throw at you. Remember, silence in these situations is not weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to stay focused on what truly matters, to maintain your peace, and to refuse to be dragged into unnecessary conflict. When you stay calm, you show emotional control, integrity, and the wisdom to not waste your energy on things that don't deserve it. Let's take a look at Sarah. Sarah was an ambitious young professional working in a high-pressure corporate environment. One day during a meeting, her manager, John, criticized her work in front of her colleagues. The criticism was unfair, based on incomplete information, and misrepresented her contributions. Her initial instinct was to defend herself, to correct him immediately and explain that the situation wasn't what he thought. But then, something changed. Sarah remembered the Stoic principle: you control your response. Instead of reacting impulsively, she paused. She took a deep breath and resisted the urge to explain herself right away. She realized that by engaging with John's criticism, she would only give him more power. Instead, she decided to keep calm and remain silent. She didn't react emotionally or defensively. She simply acknowledged the criticism, focused on the facts, and continued to do her work. By the end of the week, Sarah had delivered a stellar presentation on the same project, backed by solid evidence and results that spoke for themselves. Her work, rather than her words, showed her true value. Over time, John's criticism was forgotten, but Sarah's consistency and calmness left a lasting impression. The key takeaway here? Sarah didn't need to justify herself in the face of unfair criticism. Her actions proved her worth far more effectively than any explanation could have. This approach works because unshakable composure is a form of power. It shows others that you are unmoved by emotional manipulation. When you stay calm and focused, others begin to see you as someone who is solid, someone who doesn't allow external events to dictate their emotional state. Silence in this case becomes a powerful statement of strength. The Stoics understood that our judgments create our emotions. When someone criticizes you unfairly, it's not their words that have power. It's your judgment of those words that determines how you feel. By choosing to remain calm, you avoid letting their criticism define your emotional state. You take back the power they were trying to steal from you. Instead of getting caught in a cycle of defense, you can live in accordance with your values. Your actions will speak louder than any explanation, and your peace will remain intact. Next time you're faced with unfair criticism, here's what you can do. Pause. Take a moment before reacting. Think. Don't just respond. Stay calm. Don't let their words control your emotions. Maintain your composure. Let your actions speak. Instead of explaining or defending, show your value through your work and behavior. Refuse to engage. Don't give them the satisfaction of a reaction. Your silence is your strength. Build consistency. Continue to act with integrity and consistency. Over time, this will make you untouchable. Your response is the only thing you control. If you're ready to stop reacting emotionally to unfair criticism and start embracing stoic calm and strength, here's what you can do. Comment below, "I choose peace over drama." Like this video if you're ready to stop defending yourself and start living with stoic clarity. Share this video with someone who needs to stop reacting to criticism and start using silence as a weapon. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to maintain control and strength in challenging situations. We've all been in those situations, right? You're having a conversation and suddenly someone starts bragging. Maybe it's a colleague at work, a friend, or even a stranger who feels the need to show off. They tell you about their latest achievement, how they got promoted, or how their recent project was a huge success. The temptation to counter their boasting can be strong. You might feel the urge to tell them about your own accomplishments, to one-up them and remind them of your own successes. But here's the catch. Don't fall for it. The real trap here isn't their boasting, it's your reaction to it. When someone boasts, they're often looking for validation. They want you to admire them, to acknowledge their success, to make them feel superior. The moment you engage in their boasting game, you're playing by their rules. You're feeding into their need for recognition and validation. The Stoic response? Don't engage. Remain silent. Stoicism teaches us that true confidence doesn't need to be validated by others. If you've done the work, if you've achieved your goals, you don't need to parade your success in front of others to get their approval. You know your worth, and that's all that matters. When you choose to stay silent in the face of someone else's boastful talk, you're not being passive. You're making a powerful statement. You're saying, I don't need to compete. I don't need to compare. I already know who I am and I know what I've done. By remaining silent, you refuse to be drawn into the competition of proving who is better or more successful. You show them that you don't need to shout about your worth. Your confidence doesn't depend on recognition or comparison. Let's talk about David, a friend of mine who once dealt with a colleague named Kevin. Kevin was the type of person who loved to boast. Whenever there was a small victory in his life, he made sure everyone around him knew about it. He would talk non-stop about his latest achievement, or how his latest deal made him the star of the office. At first, David tried to engage in these conversations. He'd share his own accomplishments, offer his opinions, and join the competition. But over time, David realized that the more he engaged with Kevin's boasting, the more drained he felt. Kevin wasn't interested in hearing about David's successes. Kevin was only looking for validation. He wanted to be praised, to be seen as the most successful person in the room. David decided to take a different approach. The next time Kevin started bragging, David simply remained silent. He didn't feel the need to counter Kevin's boasting with his own stories. Instead, he stayed focused on his work and let his actions speak. The result? David's silent strength began to command respect. Kevin stopped boasting as much, realizing that David didn't need to prove anything to anyone. He had already earned his place. And by choosing silence, David had shown that true confidence doesn't require validation. It is inherent, and it doesn't need to be announced to the world. So why does this approach work so well? Why is silence the most powerful response to someone else's boasting? Because silence reveals that you're not dependent on other people's opinions. When you engage in the boasting game, you are allowing the other person to define the conversation, to control the dynamic. You become involved in their need for validation, and suddenly the conversation isn't about genuine connection anymore. It's about competition. But when you remain silent, you show that you're not seeking anyone's approval. You are confident, yourself, and you don't need to prove anything. This is the essence of Stoic confidence. It's internal, not external. It doesn't rely on anyone else's recognition or praise. It comes from within and stands strong, regardless of who is around or what they say. When you don't react to their boasting, you are, in a way, quietly teaching them a lesson. That real strength doesn't need to be flaunted. So how can you implement this strategy in your life when you're confronted with someone who is boasting? Recognize the temptation. It's natural to want to respond when someone boasts. But recognize that this is a trap. The moment you engage, you feed into their need for validation. Pause and breathe. Take a moment before you respond. Don't let your ego drive you to compete. Stay silent. Choose silence as your response. Let their words hang in the air without you reacting. Your silence is your power. Focus on your own work. Instead of competing, focus on what matters, your own actions. Let your work, your consistency, and your dedication speak for you. Remember your worth. You don't need to compare. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You already know what you've achieved, and that is enough. Trust that. Comment below, "I don't need to boast. My silence is my strength." Like this video if you're ready to stop engaging in the boasting game and start living with Stoic confidence. Share this video with someone who needs to learn the true power of silence and stop comparing themselves to others. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to live with confidence and self-assurance without needing external validation. There's a quiet form of manipulation that often goes unnoticed. When people try to undermine you behind closed doors, it's subtle, insidious, and often the hardest to deal with because it's done in secrecy. They don't confront you openly. Instead, they spread rumors, distort the truth, or misrepresent your actions to others, all with the goal of destroying your credibility. You may not even know it's happening at first. A casual remark here, a misquoted statement there, but over time the pattern becomes clear. People who you thought were allies start to view you differently. The manipulator is working in the background, twisting the narrative and turning people against you. It's frustrating, it's maddening, and most of all, it feels unfair. Your instinct might be to defend yourself. You want to set the record straight, confront the people involved, and explain what really happened. But here's the problem. The more you defend yourself, the more you fuel their narrative. The more you react, the more you give them the attention they're seeking. Instead of falling into this trap, what if you took a different approach? What if, instead of reacting, you chose to stay true to yourself, live with integrity, and let your actions speak louder than their gossip? This is where Stoicism can transform your response to the situation. The Stoics had a unique perspective on how to handle situations like these. They understood that the best response to manipulation isn't to react emotionally, but to remain consistent in your actions and focused on your values. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, didn't waste his time trying to defend himself against every false accusation or lie. Instead, he focused on living with virtue, letting his actions reveal the truth about who he was. He knew that the truth doesn't need to be defended, it stands on its own. When people try to undermine you in private, the best thing you can do is keep living with integrity. Stay consistent in your actions. Keep doing the right thing, no matter what others say. Your reputation will not be defined by the lies they spread. It will be defined by how you act in the face of adversity. The more you stay focused on what you can control, your own behavior, your own integrity, your own work, the more their lies lose power. Over time, people will start to see the truth. They will notice your consistency. They'll see that no matter what others say about you, your actions speak louder than their gossip ever could. Let's talk about Emma and how she handled a situation where someone tried to undermine her behind her back. Emma worked in a large corporate office, and for months, a co-worker named Rachel had been spreading false rumors about her. Rachel misrepresented Emma's work, made sly comments about her behavior, and even hinted at unprofessionalism to other colleagues. At first, Emma was devastated. She had always prided herself on her professionalism and work ethic, and here was Rachel undermining her reputation without a word to her face. Emma's initial reaction was to defend herself, to confront Rachel, to explain the truth, and to stop the lies from spreading. But Emma stopped herself. She realized that reacting would only fuel Rachel's agenda. Rachel wanted a confrontation, a chance to prove Emma was the one who was wrong. Emma knew that reacting emotionally would play right into Rachel's hands. Instead, Emma chose to stay calm and keep doing her job with excellence. She didn't waste time confronting the rumors or defending herself in the office. She simply continued to be consistent, professional, and true to her values. Over the following months, Emma's colleagues saw her dedication to her work. They saw her integrity and commitment to quality. Eventually, the lies Rachel had spread were exposed for what they were: baseless gossip. Rachel's attempts to undermine Emma only made her look petty, while Emma's actions spoke volumes. The truth came out, but Emma didn't need to say a word. Her actions did the talking. This approach works because, as Stoics understood, the truth doesn't need to be defended. It simply needs to be lived out. When you stay true to your principles and act with integrity, you create a consistent character that others can see for what it is. Actions speak louder than words, and no amount of gossip or manipulation can change that. Manipulators rely on creating confusion and shifting the narrative. They want to provoke a reaction, but by remaining calm, by staying focused on what matters, you not only protect your peace but also disarm their attempts to control your story. Over time, people will come to recognize who is reliable, who is honest, and who lives consistently. And those who try to manipulate or undermine you will be seen for what they are: weak and dishonest. So what can you do when someone tries to undermine you behind your back? Recognize the manipulation. Understand that people may try to ruin your reputation by spreading lies or misrepresenting your actions. This is their attempt to gain control over your image. Don't react emotionally. Reacting only gives them the power they want. Pause and reflect. Stay calm and don't engage in their game. Let them talk. Your silence is strength. Focus on your integrity. Continue living in accordance with your values. Be consistent in your actions, and don't let the gossip distract you from what you know is right. Let your actions speak. The more you stay true to your work, your values, and your integrity, the more others will see your authenticity. They will recognize the truth without you having to prove anything. Comment below, "I choose integrity over confrontation." Like this video if you're ready to stop being undermined and start letting your actions speak for you. Share this video with someone who needs to learn how to live with integrity and avoid getting dragged into gossip or manipulation. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to maintain your peace master your emotions, and let your actions do the talking. Have you ever had someone undermine you without you even knowing it? It's one of the most frustrating and elusive tactics that manipulators use when they realize they can no longer control you directly. Instead of confronting you head-on, they take the covert route. They sabotage you in secret. This is a silent attack. They may try to make your life harder by working behind the scenes, in ways that aren't immediately obvious. Maybe they spread misinformation, steal your ideas, or create small obstacles that hinder your progress. At first, you might not even notice, but over time, the effects start to build up. You feel like something's off, but you can't put your finger on it. The worst part? You have no direct evidence of their sabotage. It's insidious and hidden, in the shadows. But here's the thing. You don't need to play their game. When someone is trying to sabotage you secretly, your best response is not to chase after them, confront them, or get pulled into their drama. Instead, you need to stay focused on your goals, on your values, and on the work that truly matters. The Stoic approach here is simple. Don't engage. Don't waste your time and energy reacting to their subtle sabotage. Focus on what you can control, and that's your own actions, your work, your integrity. Don't get distracted by their tricks. Don't let their manipulative behavior derail your focus. Stay calm, stay grounded, and keep working with consistency. Silence is your weapon here. When they try to sabotage you in secret, they want a reaction from you. They want you to confront them, to get upset, to waste your time on something. That doesn't matter, but when you remain silent and stay focused, you send a powerful message. You can't be derailed by their attempts to bring you down. By continuing to live with integrity and consistently working toward your goals, you take back control. Oversat time. Their sabotage will lose its power because you don't let it affect you. Your actions speak louder than their behind-the-scenes attempts to undermine you. Let's take John's story as an example. John worked at a marketing firm where he had a colleague named David, who was always undermining him in subtle ways. David would take credit for John's ideas, misrepresent John's work to clients, and quietly plant doubt about John's abilities in front of others. At first, John didn't realize what was happening, until one day, a project he had worked tirelessly on was suddenly credited to David. John felt frustrated and betrayed. His instinct was to confront David, to call him out, and to explain his side of the story. But he remembered something important: the Stoic principle of not engaging in drama. Instead of reacting emotionally, John chose a different path. He focused on his work and delivered even better results. He didn't waste energy on confronting David or addressing the rumors. He kept doing his job with excellence, letting his actions speak for him. Over time, the truth became clear. Clients noticed John's consistent performance, and the rest of his colleagues saw who was really contributing. David's manipulation was exposed, but it wasn't John who did it. It was his actions that made the difference. By staying silent and continuing to work with integrity, John rose above the sabotage and ultimately earned the respect of his team and clients. This Stoic approach works because it disempowers the manipulator. When they try to sabotage you in secret, they are trying to create doubt, confusion, and distraction. But when you remain calm and focused, you remove their ability to control the narrative. Consistency is your greatest ally in these situations. The more you stay true to your values and continue working with integrity, the more your reputation becomes unshakable. Your actions will speak louder than anything they can say behind closed doors. Remember, you cannot control others, but you can control your response. And the best response to their sabotage is Stoic calmness and unwavering focus on what matters most. Next time someone tries to sabotage you behind your back, here's what you can do. Recognize the sabotage. Notice when someone is trying to secretly undermine you. Don't waste time looking for proof or confronting them. Simply acknowledge their actions and move forward. Stay silent. Don't react to their attempts to provoke you. Silence isn't passive. It's a powerful response. It lets them know you won't be distracted. Focus on your goals. Instead of wasting energy on their tactics, stay focused on your work. Let your consistency and integrity speak for you. Let your actions reveal the truth. Over time, your dedication and effort will expose the sabotager's true nature. People will begin to see who is really doing the work and who is just creating noise behind the scenes. Comment below. I choose to stay focused and let my actions speak for me. Like this video if you're ready to stop reacting to sabotage and start using silence as a powerful tool to protect your peace. Share this video with someone who needs to learn how to rise above manipulation and stay focused on what truly matters. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to remain calm, stay focused, and disarm sabotage with stoic strength. Have you ever noticed how some people, after they fail to manipulate you with other tactics, will turn to silence as their weapon? This is one of the most insidious tactics in their playbook. The manipulator's silence isn't about needing space or being upset. It's a deliberate strategy. They withdraw emotionally, they stop responding, or they make themselves unavailable, all in an effort to make you chase after them. When someone uses silence as a manipulation tactic, they want to provoke a reaction from you. They want you to feel confused, unsettled, or desperate for their approval. They want you to second-guess yourself, to question whether you've done something wrong. They want you to reach out, to try to fix the situation, to give them the emotional attention they need. But here's the catch. Silence is their power, but it's also your opportunity to show your strength. If you respond to their silence with anxiety, confusion, or trying to get back into their good graces, you're letting them control your emotions. Instead, the real power comes when you stay calm, stay composed, and let their silence work against them. The Stoic response is simple and powerful. Don't react to their silence. Stay unbothered, stay calm, and use the silence to your advantage. In Stoicism, the idea is that external events, including people's actions or lack of actions, can only disturb you if you allow them to. Your power lies in your response, not in their actions. When they withdraw and give you silence, they want you to react. They want you to get emotional. But here's where you flip the script. Instead of reacting, use the silence as an opportunity to remain grounded. Your silence becomes your shield. By not engaging in their manipulative game, you send them a clear message. You can't control me. When you stay composed, it throws them off. They don't know how to handle someone who is not emotionally affected by their tactics. They don't know what to do when you don't chase after their approval or respond to their withdrawal. Instead of them controlling you with silence, you are controlling the situation. You are taking back your power by not allowing them to provoke a response from you. Let me tell you about Jane and how she used silence to disarm a manipulative colleague. Jane worked in a fast-paced marketing agency. Her colleague, Tom, was always trying to undermine her work. When he couldn't manipulate her directly, he started using silence as his tactic. He would ignore her emails, not respond to her messages, and act distant in meetings. His goal was clear. He wanted Jane to seek his approval, to chase after him, and to second-guess her own work. He was hoping that her insecurity would get the better of her. At first, Jane was upset. She couldn't understand why Tom was acting like this, especially when they had worked together for so long. She felt confused, frustrated, and unsure of what was happening. The temptation to reach out to ask him what was wrong was strong. She wanted to get his approval. She wanted to clear the air. But instead, Jane remembered the Stoic wisdom. Don't react. She didn't send any more messages. She didn't try to explain herself or apologize for something she hadn't done. Instead, she kept working. She focused on her tasks, did her job with excellence, and kept moving forward without getting caught up in the drama. Tom, on the other hand, couldn't understand why Jane wasn't reacting. His silence wasn't affecting her, and it started to confuse him. Over time, he became frustrated. He tried to initiate a few conversations, but Jane remained calm and composed, focused solely on her work. Eventually, he stopped using silence as a tool against her. He couldn't manipulate her anymore. Jane's silent strength became her greatest weapon. She didn't need to confront Tom. She didn't need to waste energy on his emotional games. By choosing not to react, she regained control of the situation. Why does this approach work so effectively? Because emotional manipulation only works when you allow yourself to be affected by it. The moment you engage with someone's manipulation, you give them control over your emotions. You let them dictate how you feel, how you act, and how you respond. But when you choose silence, when you choose to remain unshaken, you take back control. You disarm them by refusing to play their game. In Stoicism, the external world can't disturb you unless you let it. Their silence, their attempts to provoke you, only hold power when you react. By staying calm, you show that you are not subject to their whims. The longer you stay unbothered, the more they will realize they cannot affect you. They will become frustrated, confused, and eventually give up on trying to manipulate you. The next time someone uses silence to manipulate you, here's what you can do. Recognize the tactic. Understand that their silence is not about needing space. It's an emotional manipulation tactic. They want you to chase after them, to doubt yourself, or to feel insecure. Don't react emotionally. Pause and breathe. Don't let their silence disturb your peace. Stay calm and stay focused on what you can control. Use their silence to your advantage. Stay unaffected. Your calmness will confuse them. They won't know how to handle someone who isn't reacting to their manipulation. Keep your focus. Don't get distracted by their emotional games. Keep doing the work. Let your actions speak for you. Comment below. I choose to remain calm and unshaken. Like this video if you're ready to stop reacting to manipulative silence and start using it as a tool for emotional control. Share this video with someone who needs to understand how silence can be a powerful weapon against manipulation. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to stay grounded, disarm manipulators, and take control of your peace. You've seen this happen before. After all their tactics fail, after the manipulation, the silence, the failed attempts to provoke a reaction, they will try one final strategy. They'll shift to charm or pretend they've changed. It's the classic move. They suddenly become sweet, apologetic, and overly nice. They might say things like, "I realize now what I did wrong. I've changed. I've been working on myself, and I promise I'm not the same person anymore. You mean so much to me, and I'll do whatever it takes to make things right." Sounds familiar, right? They shift from being manipulative and distant to being overly charming, hoping to lure you back into their web. This tactic is dangerous because it plays on your human tendency to hope for the best in people, to believe that people can truly change. You might think, maybe they really have changed. Maybe this time will be different. But the truth is, words are easy. Actions speak louder. Here's the Stoic response to this tactic. Don't be fooled by words. Pay attention to their actions. Stoicism teaches us that a person's true character is revealed not by their promises or apologies, but by how they act consistently over time. Promises are cheap. Anyone can say they've changed, but true change shows itself in action, not words. A manipulator's charm or apology is just another attempt to regain control over you. Their words may sound sincere, but they are empty without consistent, observable change. The Stoics emphasize that trusting people based on their behavior, not their promises, is the only way to avoid being manipulated. If someone has been harmful or manipulative in the past, their charm or promises of change should be met with healthy skepticism. The true test of their character is whether their behavior matches their words over time. Actions will always reveal what words try to hide. Let's talk about Sarah, a friend who faced this exact situation with someone she once trusted deeply. Sarah had been friends with Tom for years, but over time she started to realize that Tom wasn't the friend he appeared to be. He'd lie about things, betray her trust, and use her for his own benefit. Eventually, Sarah reached her breaking point and cut ties with him. She decided to stop engaging in their toxic relationship, but Tom didn't let go that easily. He started calling, texting, and showing up at Sarah's door. He apologized, told her he'd learned from his mistakes, and promised that he had changed. For a moment, Sarah was torn. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to think that maybe, just maybe, Tom had really changed. But deep down, Sarah knew that words don't define change. Actions do. Instead of rushing to reconcile, Sarah observed, she didn't rush to trust Tom based on his apologies or charm. She waited and watched for evidence of real change. Months passed, and Sarah noticed that Tom's behavior remained the same. He still lied, manipulated situations to his advantage, and didn't respect her boundaries. His words were empty. They didn't match his actions. Eventually, Sarah stopped responding to Tom altogether. She let him continue to pretend to change, but she knew her silence spoke volumes. By letting his actions reveal his true character, Sarah saved herself from falling back into an unhealthy relationship. She trusted her instincts and stood by her values, never allowing empty promises or charm to cloud her judgment. This stoic response works because it prevents emotional manipulation. Manipulative people rely on empty promises and charm to regain control. They know that if they can make you feel guilty or compassionate, they can get back into your life and continue their manipulation. But when you observe their actions and give them time to prove themselves, you force them to show their true intentions. And when those intentions don't match their words, you don't need to do anything but stand firm in your boundaries and continue living with integrity. The Stoic approach teaches us to be patient, rational, and calm in the face of manipulation. We don't rush to conclusions based on emotional impulses. Instead, we let time reveal the truth. So, what should you do when someone tries to charm or change to win you back after they've wronged you? Observe their behavior over time. Words can be deceptive, but actions speak for themselves. Watch for consistent changes in their behavior, not just promises of change. Don't rush to forgive or accept them back. Take your time. Let them prove that they've truly changed through their actions, not just their words. Stand by your values and boundaries. Don't lower your standards or give them another chance based on their charm. Maintain your integrity and protect your peace. Let your silence be a reflection of your strength. When someone is trying to manipulate you with charm, stay silent. Your silence is a powerful response that shows you don't need validation from them. Trust your instincts. If their actions don't match their words, don't give them another opportunity to manipulate you. Trust that you deserve better than empty promises. Comment below. I choose to trust actions over words. Like this video if you're ready to stop falling for empty promises and start living with stoic clarity and strength. Share this video with someone who needs to stop being manipulated by charm and start focusing on actions. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to protect your peace, maintain emotional control, and remain unshaken in the face of manipulation. Life isn't always fair. It's a reality we all must face. Whether it's an unfair decision at work, a betrayal by a friend, or the feeling that the system itself has wronged you, injustice is something we will all encounter at some point. You've been there? Maybe you were passed over for a promotion you deserved. Maybe a colleague took credit for your work. Perhaps someone you trusted lied to you or betrayed your confidence. Whatever the situation, The sting of injustice cuts deep. When this happens, your initial reaction is often anger. You feel the need to defend yourself, to fight back, or even to seek revenge. You want to right the wrong, to make sure people see the truth, to make the person or system responsible for the injustice pay for what they've done. But here's the hard truth. Reacting impulsively or seeking revenge only perpetuates the cycle of negativity. When you get caught up in seeking justice through anger or emotion, you give away your power. You become consumed by the wrong instead of taking control of your own peace. So, what do you do when confronted with injustice? The answer lies in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that the key is not in controlling what happens to us, but in controlling how we respond. The Stoic response to injustice is clear. Don't react impulsively. Instead, choose to remain composed and act with integrity. The Stoics believe that we can't control external events, but we always have control over how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, faced tremendous adversity throughout his reign, betrayals, wars, and countless injustices. Yet he didn't act out of anger or impulsiveness. Instead, he consistently responded with reason, patience, and virtue. When faced with injustice, a Stoic would first take a moment to step back. Instead of rushing into an emotional reaction or taking impulsive action, they would assess the situation calmly and thoughtfully. Their focus was always on acting with integrity, regardless of how others behaved. Patience is your power here. Instead of immediately reacting to the injustice, take a moment to reflect on the situation. Don't let your emotions control your response. Instead, choose to act from a place of rationality and virtue, and let your actions reveal the truth of who you are. Let's talk about Emma and how she handled a situation where she was confronted with blatant injustice. Emma worked at a tech company where she was passed over for a promotion that was promised to her. A new employee who had barely been with the company for 6 months was given the position instead, despite Emma having more experience and a proven track record. At first, Emma felt the surge of anger. She wanted to confront her manager, to demand an explanation, and to make sure everyone knew she was the more qualified candidate. It felt unjust and she was frustrated. But then Emma took a deep breath. She remembered the Stoic principle. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, she decided to pause and reflect. Emma didn't allow her emotions to dictate her actions. She understood that rage and frustration wouldn't solve anything. They would only escalate the situation and possibly damage her reputation. So Emma took a step back, assessed the situation, and responded with calm. She asked for a meeting with her manager, not to argue or demand answers, but to seek feedback and understand what steps she could take to improve her performance. Through this conversation, Emma learned about areas she could improve and was able to take proactive steps to address them. She didn't let the injustice consume her. Instead, she focused on what was within her control, her own development and growth. As a result, Emma was not only able to move forward with her career, but she also earned the respect of her colleagues and manager for her professionalism and emotional control. Over time, her integrity and calm demeanor made her the clear leader in the eyes of the company, and the promotion she deserved came to her in time. Why does this Stoic response to injustice work so well? Because you take back control. When you choose to act with patience and integrity, you regain power over the situation. Instead of being pulled into an emotional reaction, you stay focused on what you can control, your actions and your character. In the heat of injustice, it's easy to want to fight back, to lash out, or to retaliate. But Stoicism teaches us that the truly virtuous person does not let external events disturb their peace. They act with reason and integrity, no matter what others do. When you respond with calm and patience, you show that you are unshaken by the injustice. You show that your values are stronger than any unfair situation. Your actions reveal the truth about who you are, a person of integrity, focused on self-improvement, and committed to living virtuously, regardless of how the world treats you. So, what can you do the next time you face injustice in your life? Recognize the injustice. Understand when you've been wronged. Recognize that you cannot control the actions of others, but you can control how you respond. Don't react impulsively. Take a moment to pause, reflect, and collect your thoughts. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Act with integrity. Respond in a way that aligns with your values. Show your strength by acting thoughtfully and rationally, not emotionally. Be patient. Take the time to assess the situation carefully before taking action. Let your actions reveal your character, not your anger. Comment below. I choose patience and integrity over impulsive reactions. Like this video if you're ready to stop reacting emotionally to injustice and start responding with stoic, calm, and reason. Share this video with someone who needs to learn how to handle injustice with strength and integrity. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more practical Stoic wisdom on how to live with emotional control, self-mastery, and unshakable peace. We've all experienced the sting of false rumors. Someone twists the truth, spreads lies, or distorts your character, and suddenly, you find yourself on the receiving end of misinformation. It's frustrating, it's painful, and it feels completely fair. Your first instinct is probably to correct the lies, to tell everyone the truth, and to clear your name. It makes sense. Why should you let falsehoods define you? You want to prove your innocence, set the record straight, and show people that the rumors about you are simply untrue. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Engaging with the lies only gives them power. The more you try to correct the rumors, the more you get drawn into the drama. You give others the opportunity to keep talking about you, to keep distorting your character, and to keep you in their narrative. So what should you do instead? You need to choose a different path, one that doesn't give the rumors any more attention. Don't engage in the game. Don't try to correct the lies. Instead, stay focused on living in alignment with your principles, your values, and your actions. The Stoic response to false rumors is simple but powerful: silence. In a world where people often speak before they think, where rumors spread like wildfire, Stoicism teaches us that silence is not weakness, it's strength. Instead of spending energy trying to convince others of your truth, Stoics believe that you should let your actions speak for you. The more you engage in trying to correct every false claim, the more you fuel the drama and give the rumors room to grow. The best defense against false rumors is to refuse to participate in the drama. Let your actions and integrity reveal the truth, rather than getting caught up in trying to change other people's perceptions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful Stoic philosophers, had to deal with criticism and false rumors during his reign as Roman emperor. Instead of defending himself, he lived according to his virtues and principles, trusting that truth would eventually reveal itself. By focusing on what he could control, his actions, he let his reputation be built on what he did, not what others said about him. Silence, then, becomes a powerful tool. By not reacting to the rumors or engaging in attempts to prove yourself, you stay grounded in your own truth. And over time, as you continue to live consistently and in alignment with your values, the lies will eventually fade. Let's consider the story of Jack, who faced a situation where false rumors were spread about him at work. Jack worked in a fast-paced law firm and was known for his hard work, professionalism, and integrity. One day, a co-worker, Tom, started a rumor that Jack was taking credit for someone else's work. The rumor spread quickly, and Jack's reputation began to take a hit. At first, Jack felt the overwhelming urge to defend himself. He wanted to set the record straight, confront Tom, and clear up the lies. But he paused and remembered the Stoic principle. We control our actions, not the actions of others. Instead of reacting emotionally, Jack decided to stay focused on what he could control: his work, his behavior, and his reputation. He refused to engage in any confrontations. Instead, Jack focused on delivering exceptional results and kept living in alignment with his values. He made sure that his integrity and hard work were evident to everyone around him. In time, the truth became clear. Jack's consistency and professionalism were evident to everyone, and the rumors slowly died down. The more Jack lived true to himself, the more people began to recognize who he truly was: a man of integrity, someone who didn't need to defend himself because his actions spoke for him. The reason why silence works so effectively is simple. Rumors can't distort your character when you remain true to your principles. False rumors may make some people doubt you in the short term, but they can never change who you truly are. If you keep walking in alignment with your values and consistently acting with integrity, the truth will always reveal itself in the end. When you refuse to engage in the drama, you send a clear message to others. You cannot be manipulated. Your reputation isn't based on gossip or what others say about you. It's based on your actions and your character. When you act with consistency and authenticity, the truth will always win out. Here's what you can do next time you're confronted with false rumors. Recognize the rumors for what they are. Understand that rumors are not about you. They are about the people spreading them. Don't take it personally. Don't react. Stay calm and composed. Don't waste your energy on trying to prove yourself or defend yourself. Focus on your actions. Live according to your values. Let your consistent actions speak for you. People will start to recognize the truth over time. Let silence be your defense. Refuse to engage in the drama. The more you stay silent, the more your integrity and actions will shine through, and rumors will lose power. Comment below. I choose silence and integrity over gossip. Like this video if you're ready to stop reacting to rumors and start letting your actions reveal your truth. Share this video with someone who's facing rumors and needs to learn how to stay calm and focused on what really matters. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to protect your peace, master your emotions, and let your actions speak louder than words. We've all been there. You're going about your day and suddenly someone delivers an insult, either in private or worse, publicly. Whether it's a cutting remark about your appearance, your work, or even your character, it stings. You feel the immediate heat of the insult, the urge to defend yourself, to strike back, to prove them wrong, to protect your honor. It's an instinctive reaction. After all, when someone insults us, we want to stand our ground, right? We want to show them that they can't get away with it. But what if I told you that reacting emotionally to an insult is exactly what they want? What if the real power is not in defending yourself, but in remaining calm, in choosing not to engage, and in preserving your dignity? This is where Stoic wisdom offers us a transformative approach to handling insults. Instead of falling into the trap of reacting with emotion, you can respond with grace and self-control. You don't need to defend yourself, because your dignity is not dependent on their opinion of you. The Stoic response to an insult is simple but powerful. Don't take the bait. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, teaches us that how we respond to insults is entirely within our control. The insult may happen, but you decide how you react. You can choose to rise above it. You can choose not to engage. In those moments when you feel the urge to defend yourself, to react impulsively, remember that your peace is your responsibility. Stoics believe that external events like insults cannot disturb you unless you allow them to. Their words are just noise, they don't define you. It's your reaction to their words that determines whether or not you lose your peace. Instead of letting their insult stir up anger, frustration, or defensiveness, Choose to remain unshaken. Respond with grace, not because you need their approval, but because you are in control of your emotional state. Let's take a look at Michael, who faced a situation where he was publicly insulted by a colleague during a team meeting. Michael was presenting a project he had been working on for months. His presentation was solid, his ideas were well researched, and he was confident in his work. However, during the meeting, Paul, a colleague known for being critical, interrupted Michael in front of the entire team, dismissing his ideas with a sarcastic remark. Michael could feel the anger rise. He wanted to defend his work, to tell Paul off to prove he was right. The instinct to react was strong, but Michael remembered something important. His peace was more valuable than being right. Instead of engaging in a verbal confrontation, Michael took a deep breath. He smiled politely at Paul, thanked him for his feedback, and continued with the presentation, staying focused on the task at hand. He didn't react to the insult. He rose above it. As the meeting went on, the other colleagues began to notice something. Michael didn't let the insult shake him. He didn't waste his time or energy defending himself. He remained calm, composed, and professional. By the end of the meeting, it was clear to everyone who had the more rational approach. Michael's dignity and composure made Paul's insult look petty in comparison. The reason why this Stoic approach works so effectively is because you maintain control over the situation. When you react to an insult, you give away your emotional power. You allow someone else's words to determine how you feel and how you act. But when you choose not to react, when you remain unshaken by the insult, you take back control of the situation. Your silence and composure disarm the attacker because they can no longer provoke you. By not reacting, you render their words powerless. This is the power of Stoic silence. It's not about being passive. It's about choosing your emotional response and letting your dignity speak louder than any insult. When you respond with grace and self-control, you show the world that you are above petty attacks. Next time you're confronted with an insult, here's what you can do. Pause and breathe. Take a moment before reacting. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Don't take the bait. The person insulting you wants a reaction. Refuse to give it to them. Stay silent and composed. Respond with grace. If you must respond, do so calmly and respectfully. Don't stoop to their level. Your calmness will show them that they can't shake your peace. Focus on what you can control. You cannot control their words, but you can control your reaction. Keep your dignity intact, and let your actions show your true character. Let silence be your strength. Silence in the face of an insult is a powerful response. It tells the other person that you are unaffected and unmoved by their words. Comment below. I choose grace and composure over emotional reactions. Like this video if you're ready to stop reacting to insults and start using Stoic calm as your greatest strength. Share this video with someone who needs to learn how to respond with dignity and self-control in the face of insults. Subscribe to True Stoic Way for more insights on how to protect your peace, remain unshaken, and become emotionally invincible. Conclusion: the ultimate power of silence. The real strength in life lies not in how we react to the world around us, but in how well we control ourselves. When we practice Stoic principles, we don't just become untouchable by external forces. We become unshakable in our own convictions. The manipulation, the false accusations, the insults, they are not the things that will break us. What truly matters is how we choose to respond to them, and the most powerful response is often silence. Silence is not weakness. It's not about withdrawing or being passive. It's a strategic choice, one that shows the world that we will not be swayed by emotional manipulation. When we choose to remain silent, we are not avoiding conflict. We are choosing to focus on what truly matters. Our actions become our most powerful tool, And in those moments of silence, we show others that we cannot be controlled by their games. Our silence becomes a declaration of self-mastery, a shield against manipulation and drama. And that silence is louder than any words. The Stoics knew this. They understood that true power comes from within. It's not about needing to explain ourselves to others or fight for validation. It's about living by our values and letting our actions reflect our true character. When we act with integrity and focus on the things we can control, the noise of the world fades away, and we remain steady, no matter what chaos unfolds around us. This is the essence of Stoic strength. In a world that encourages constant noise and reaction, silence becomes a radical act of strength. It's about knowing when to step back and allow your actions to do the talking. When others try to provoke you, manipulate you, or undermine you, silence shows them that they have no power over you. When you stop reacting emotionally and start living consistently with your values, you become someone who cannot be manipulated, someone who commands respect without saying a word. The silence of self-mastery is the loudest declaration of power. It's the kind of power that doesn't need to fight, doesn't need to shout, and doesn't need to prove anything. Silence is your weapon, not to avoid confrontation, but to stay grounded in your integrity, to remain calm, and to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. It's about choosing to protect your peace instead of engaging in drama. You don't need to defend your worth to anyone. Your actions will prove it. When you stop reacting to the noise and manipulation around you, you stop giving others the power to shape your emotional world. You reclaim your peace, your strength, and your focus. It's time to start using silence as your ultimate weapon, one that allows you to remain calm, composed, and in control, no matter what's going on around you. You can choose to live in a way that reflects your true character, one where your actions are a testament to your values. Your silence will become the strongest tool you have to protect your peace, disarm others, and maintain your emotional control. When you understand the power of silence, you stop being manipulated by others. You become untouchable in your peace, and no external force can disturb your calm. Now that you've seen the power that silence holds, it's time to embrace it. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. The time to act is now. Stop engaging in the drama. Don't let the world control your emotions. Let silence be your greatest weapon against manipulation, chaos, and conflict. Start using silence strategically. Let your actions speak louder than any words ever could. Stand firm in your values and let others see that you are unshakable. Take a moment to reflect. Are you ready to live with this kind of strength? To stop reacting emotionally and start using silence as a powerful tool in your life? Your peace is your power. Protect it, embrace it, and let the world feel the strength of your unshakable silence.